Welcome to my studio, and thanks for joining me. Glad that you're here with me. It's really cold, so I'm rugged up. It's a grey day outside. It's yeah, not bright and sunny that we do like for winter, but anyway, well, we're going to have a go at painting today. This was another one. I painted this yesterday. So I'm going to have another go at painting it, trying to get just a little bit looser than what I did yesterday. Thinking about adding it to the workshops. So we come paint some birds. So I did that one yesterday, and I also did Kookaburra, which I think, there we go. I think I liked, but I think I need to, loosen it up just a little bit. So I'm going to have another go at doing the Hummingbird because I really like the bright, vibrant colours of that one. There we go. So we're going to paint that this morning. Well, I'll try. See how it goes. So I'm going to try loosening it up. If you've ever been to one of my workshops, I always encourage you to paint outside the lines, and I need to take a little bit of my own advice on that one. So we're going to have a go. Anyway, we'll see how that works out. So they start off, if you've been to any of my workshops, let me get that to work. Nope. Okay, there it is. So if you can see there, it's a very light printout that you get at any workshop that you come to. You don't have to use that. You're more than welcome to draw your own outline or go rogue and paint whatever you like at any of the workshops. So that's the outline that we'll be using today, and that's what I'm going to encourage myself to paint outside the lines. So there's a beautiful loose watercolour workshop this Saturday morning at Fingal Head, so there's still a few tickets available for that one if you'd like to jump onto the website and book your own seat for that. There's a few seats left, so that's going to be a lovely morning. Round there at Fingal, overlooking the ocean, there's a beautiful coffee shop downstairs, so we'll have a lovely morning. And then we've got another watercolour early in July, and then I want to show you this one. This is what we're doing mid-July. An acrylic painting. Can't think of the date. Mid-July anyway. It's an acrylic painting session, so you've got a choice of doing it on a canvas or a tote bag. So that's just something that we're going to try. It was a lot of fun. I really liked painting on the tote bag, and if you've been to a few of the acrylic painting sessions, then that's going to give you something else. If you've got a few paintings hanging up, come and paint a tote bag. I'm also going to work on, so this is July's acrylic painting, so August acrylic painting will actually be this hummingbird, but we're going to do it in acrylics. And the same deal, we'll either paint it on a canvas or a tote bag. I just think that's going to look beautiful on a tote bag. So that's going to be August's paint and sip class. It'll be mid-August as well. I haven't set the date completely, so that's what we're going to do. Anyway, let's get into it. So let's see. Just give me a moment and I will turn the camera down. Just a second. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Okay. There we are. That should do, I think. Okay. I'll turn that down a little bit. Hi, Christy. Thank you for joining. Yes, the bag does look great. It's lovely. Looks a bit dark. Let me see if I can fix the light here. Oh. Dark. Hopefully it's not too dark for you. Let me know, Christy, if it's really dark. Oh, it's coming. There we are. I think it's time I upgraded my camera. That's annoying. Nope. What have I got a light on there? Alright, well, I have got my coffee. So look, there's my coffee. And we're going to have a go. So this is my palette. This is what I'm using, so you can't quite see the whole palette. Yeah, I'm loving that piece of acrylic. It's big, it's messy, and all sorts of colours on there. So that's what I'm going to use today. There's lots of paint on there that I can use for this one. There we go. And of course I'll be using my Princeton brushes because I really like the Princeton brushes. I don't need that one. I've lost one. There we are. Okay, we'll stick with the number 8 round one, and that's the number 12 round one. We'll go big first. And all right, now I've got plenty of water. I've got 2 jars of water here. Somewhere. No, I've only got one, so we'll just work with one. Righto. Let's throw some paint around. Okay. Okay, Christy said it's a little dark. Okay, hopefully it clears up. Alright, I'm really thinking about buying a new camera, so that kind of makes me feel like I really do need to jump in and buy a new camera. Okay, so I am laying some water around, and nearly went in my coffee. Okay, I am loosely throwing some water around, and this is going to hopefully spread some paint around. Alright, I've got my picture here, so I'm just going to kind of work on the same sort of colours, so I've got that right by me. Let me grab, alright, righto. Tail feathers, and while I've got the blue on, there's a bit of blue up here as well. Okay, I'm really going to try and loosen this one up a lot more than the last one. Drop some darker colour in. Painting in the direction of the feathers always is what I'm trying to do. Righto, let's go out here and do the wings. So the wings is pink. Pink's up here, but I don't have a lot of it. What have I got here? Okay, this one will do. I really wanted something pinky, but anyway. Same again, I'm just going to bring it out in the direction of the feathers. Okay, not wet enough. Okay, righto, like that. In the direction the feathers would be. Really trying to keep this one looser. Okay. Oh, I went in my coffee. I knew I'd do that. I'll move my coffee. I'll drink my coffee. Hang on. Righto. I'm back. Okay. Kind of a yellowy colour on the top of its head. Okay. I'm going to blend that into the wing this time. And oh, that beautiful green under here, I love that. I love the green. So the green under his belly, look at that. And I'm going to bring that down and into his tail. I'm loving this one much better already. There we go. Pop a bit more blue up here and let that, beautiful. Okay. Righto. Yeah, I'm loving it better already. So I'm going to drop a bit more darker colour in here while it's wet so it can do its thing. Maybe a bit of yellow just to make that a bit more interesting in here. There we go. Yeah, liking that much better. Righto. I'm going to go down to a small one. Before we dry that off, I'm just going to do a little bit on his beak. It's a really dark colour. Let me get that activated here. You can see that. Not really. There we are. So that's just a really dark, I think that's Payne's Grey that I'm using here. And I'm just going to, here we are, dry that off just a little bit. It's going to keep a tissue in my hand that I just find handy to mop up anything that's a drip. There we are. I think it's one thing to be loose and free and beautiful, but I think you've still got to have the beak and the eyes. So my mistake here is I haven't left it white for the eye, but I can always come back with some white gouache and do that. Okay. All right. Yeah. I think she's looking pretty. Now my idea of what I wanted to do with this to really loosen it up, I'm not sure if now's the right time or when I'm finished, but I'm gonna go now. What I'm gonna do is that. There we are. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Possibly could have been later. I don't know if the blue will, oh yeah, the blue's picked up. I'm going to take the blue out that way. There you go. Probably not quite enough. There we go. It's just, yeah. It may dry, and I might do that again, but I'm liking that so far. Anyway, that was the idea that I had in my head. Rather than painting the green background here, I wanted to give it more movement and to just loosen those the wings particularly, loosen them right off, which I really like that much better. There we go. Yeah, maybe a bit up here, and add a bit more blue. Yeah, here. If you don't like something, you know, if it just doesn't work, that's okay. I'm happy with that. You can always use your tissue and pull it back up again, but you know, I really like that. That's looking good. Right, I think I need to dry it. Yeah, I think I need to dry it off, so bear with me. I'm sorry I can't mute it, so bear with me. I'll give it a quick dry, and then we're just going to pick up some details and see where we go from it with there. So, you know, what's that taken me? A quick 10 minutes or so. Go. Okay, just straighten that out a little bit. I'm liking this one a lot more than the last one. I just think it's beautiful. So I'm going to go down a size. So I'm going down to the Princeton number 8 brush here, and I'm going to start and pick up some details, and I'll start on the tail. So I'll start with this, and then I'll go down to the fine liner, which is the next one down. That's a number 8 of, I'm sorry, number 1 of the liners in the Princeton range that It's a real favourite of mine. So coming in, and I've come right down on my paintbrush down further as well. So coming in here, I'm going to pick up where the darker bits are and blending up. And I'm still trying to keep it fairly loose here. A little bit of water and just soften off back into here. There. Okay, blending that back up. There we are. Just picked up a little bit of work there in the tail. A bit more up here. There we are. And I'll just soften those off. There we are. Okay. All right. Now the green, I'm going to pick up that green and here, just to give more of an edge of his belly. Here's her belly. Yeah, and I'm going to bring that green back in here to blend in there. Okay, let's soften that off. There we are. Okay, I'm not kind of loving that. Oh, that's it. There we go. Always, you know, blot off. A little bit of push and pull. There we are. Okay, we're going to come up and pull this the blue up here under his neck. There we are. And soften that off. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now into this pinky red for the wing. I'm going to have to turn a little bit. So what I want to do is just find those wings just a little bit again. Okay, and then blend it off. Yeah, when we're painting flowers, we talk a lot about hard and soft edges. Well, I think, you know, it applies to everything. You know, finding the hard and the soft edges on what's needed to, you know, portray the message that it's a bird. What's needed in your artwork as against what people know is going to be in your artwork. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I'm liking this a whole lot more than the last one. Ask any questions if you want. I can see your comments here, so if you want to, you know, ask anything. Thanks, Christy. Yeah, I'm liking this one a whole lot more than the last one. There you go. Practice, and that's what I always say. Just practice. It's up under here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to bring a bit of yellow. Do this yellow around here just to give it a bit more depth. There we are. I'm really liking the softness of this. I don't want to do too much to it, I don't think. Around his eye. There we go. I'm liking that much better. I think I need a bit more green in here just to give it a bit more contrast right in here, but I'm not far off. I think, yeah, a bit of darkness here. There we go. Okay, remembering to, you know, leave some light as well, because there would be light catching. As it flies. Righto. Is it dry? I'm going to give the beak a little bit darker. I'll just use that rigger. Okay. It's not very often you'll see me get really tight on my brush, but you know, beaks and eyes. I might just, before I do the eye, because I'm feeling like it's one of those things, I might let it dry and I may do some more work to it, but I really like it. And I like the looseness. Once he's got his eye done, I think I want to see some splatters, because, you know, I love my splatters. And yeah, I don't mind it. I think I'm just going to try and make sure this is dry, because I want the eye to be very controlled and very definite. If you can see the eye in this one, let me see, there you go. The eye has to be the eye. So we don't want any blending and bleeding. So let me just give that a blast. Yeah, all right, I'm happy with that. Okay, so from the printable, I can still see the eye a little bit, and it did work nicely how I did it with the other one. So very carefully. Whoops, it's just a circle. And leaving the white highlight in the eye. Okay. Breathe. You know, I was telling you to breathe. I wasn't breathing. Not liking this eye as much as I liked the last one. Anyway. Okay. There we go. We're always critical of our own work, aren't we? Here we are. Probably needs just some separation of these. The feathers here. Really, not much more. I'll just do that. That's okay. Separate here. Looks to be a little bit wet still. It's a bit bleeding. Let's just see what happens. It might be just enough in here. Just a little bit. Yeah, I think it's still a little bit wet. There we go. All right. Yeah. It's funny how you can paint something and think the green background is what it needed. Well, I painted this and I thought I added the flower, and then I thought leaves. Well, and then I think I was thinking about it during the night last night, and I didn't look. I like it. I think it's going to be great as a class. I think that's going to be really nice for everyone to paint, but not really true to myself, and that is more me. All right. So we could do a really light blue colour out this side. Let's do that. All right. It hasn't taken me long, so I'm going back to my big brush, and I'm going to pick up just a really light blue. Really light. Let's start light and just pick up. I'm being careful not to go too close to the bird, just so that I'm not going to pick up any of those colours. Yeah, that has just picked up just a little bit of colour out here, which is exactly what I think it needed. go. We can always go a little darker up the top. And I'm also liking a bit of a dry brush on here as well, so yeah, a bit of texture on the paper. There we go. There's something else that we talk about in the class is you know, doing a bit of dry brushing. We learn how to do that, the different techniques for watercolour painting, and dry brushing is certainly one of those. There we go. I actually kind of really like that. Oh, there we are. Yeah. There we go. Really, it is. It's kind of dry brush, if you can see that. There's a bit of texture to it, but I also think it makes a nice contrast. So I think I will finish that off. Once it's dry, I'm going to do some splatters on it, but I'm going to leave it till it's dry, and I won't make that noise with the hairdryer again, with the dryer. But yeah, I really like it. What's that? A quick 25-minute paint. There we are. I think it's beautiful. I really like that, and I think it sits better with me. I feel better that that has worked better. I think it's more me, more my style of painting. But when you come to a class, then you know, you can figure it out for yourself. You don't have to paint it like that. You can paint it like that, and that was the whole idea of painting it again. You know, so you can come and see how you want to paint it. You decide on the day. Yeah, I just guide you in the right direction. Anyway, I'm going to let that dry, and then do some splatters, and I'll probably do some really bold blue, bright blue splatters all over it, or maybe the red, but maybe both. And I think that's done. I think she's really pretty. Anyway, keep an eye out. So I think we might add birds in for a workshop, kind of more August, and I may even do some online tutorials, so they'll be available as well. So yeah, there's still a few seats available for the workshop on Saturday, and then July's workshop as well. That's watercolours, and then that one that I showed you before of the acrylic one, which is always, the acrylic's always sort of mid to late in the month. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed it. So there's always a Facebook group that you're more than welcome. So if you're interested, send me a message and I'll add you to the Facebook group. That's where you'll know everything is. You get first access to the classes because they do sell out. So anyway, thank you. Thanks, Christy. Thank you for chatting with me. And that was a whole lot of fun. Anyway, it's good to have a paint on this gloomy, what day is it? Tuesday. At least said Wednesday. Yeah, it's very gloomy. But, you know, we'll struggle on. Have a lovely day. And if you get to paint, make it even better. Chat soon. Bye.